Good afternoon, Internet. There's something special about the start of a new motorcycle riding season. You can feel it in the air long before the first proper ride of the year. The days start getting a little longer, the mornings aren't quite as bitter, and every time the sun pokes through the clouds you start thinking the same thing. It's time. For a lot of us across the UK, winter feels like it lasts forever. The bikes are tucked away in garages, sheds or undercovers. Batteries are on tenders or trickle chargers. Tyres are slowly losing a bit of pressure. And we're stuck watching ride videos on YouTube instead of actually being out on the road. But as we head into the new biking season, the excitement starts to build. The smell of fuel, the sound of engines firing back to life, and the promise of some incredible rides across some of the best biking roads anywhere in the world. Finally looking forward to actually riding those routes that you planned over the winter months and saved to your favourite navigation app. For me, it's Curvature. For others, Calimoto, etc. Because honestly, when the weather cooperates, riding in the UK is absolutely unbeatable. Before the adventure begins though, there's always the ritual. Every rider knows it. You head into the garage, pull the cover off the bike, and just stand there for a moment looking at it. After months of winter, it almost feels like seeing an old friend again. First things first, the battery goes back on if you removed it, or you unplug the charger if it's been sitting on a tender all winter. Then come the ritual checks: tyre pressures and condition, chain tension and lubrication, belt tension if you don't have a chain, oil level, coolant, brake fluid, clutch fluid, control operation, cable lubrication and lights, etc. A quick look over the brake pads, make sure nothing looks out of place and there's plenty of meat on them, and maybe give the bike a quick clean to get rid of the dust that it's collected over the winter months. And then that first engine start of the year is always a moment. You turn the key, the dash lights up, fuel pump primes, and then you hit the starter. The engine cranks, and suddenly the garage fills with that familiar growl again. It's a small moment, but every rider's heart misses a beat when that long silent engine roars back into life, signalling that the season has started. Now, riding in the UK always comes with one big condition: the weather. The UK is the only country on the planet where you can get all four seasons in a single day. A little chilly in the morning, bright and sunny by midday, pissing down in the evening, and flakes of snow during the night. But some years we get lucky. Long stretches of sunshine, dry roads and perfect riding temperatures. Other years, well, it's Britain. You pack waterproofs even if the forecast says sunshine. But every new season starts with the same hope. Maybe this year will be the one with weeks of clear skies. Maybe this will be the summer when we finally tick off some of those legendary routes we've been talking about for years. Because the UK has some absolutely world-class roads. And this year might be just the year to ride them. If there's one ride that sits on the bucket list for almost every UK motorcyclist, it's the legendary North Coast 500. Often called Scotland's answer to Route 66. This incredible route loops around the Northern Highlands for over 500 miles of pure riding paradise. Tight mountain passes, wide sweeping coastal roads, tiny fishing villages, and landscapes look like they belong in another world. One of the highlights along the route is the infamous Balak Nabar, a mountain road that feels more like something you'd find in the Alps. Hairpin after hairpin, climbing high into the mountains. Narrow lanes, steep gradients, and views that stretch out for miles. It's a road that demands respect, but rewards you with one of the most unforgettable riding experiences in the UK. If the weather plays nice in 2026, this might finally be the year to load up the bike, head north and take on the full NC 500. Heading back down into England, one road every rider knows is Snake Pass. Cutting through the Peak District between Manchester and Sheffield, Snake Pass is one of those roads that perfectly blends scenery with riding fun. Long flowing bends, elevation changes, and views across the hills that make you want to stop every few miles just to take it all in. On a summer weekday morning, when traffic is light and the road is dry, it's one of the best rides you can have. Of course, it's also a road that demands caution. The weather can change quickly up there, and the corners can tighten faster than expected. But we're ridden with respect, it's an absolute classic. Another road that has legendary status in the UK's riding community is the Cat and Fiddle Road, running between Macclesfield and Buxton. This stretch of tarmac has been a favourite among bikers for decades. It's fast, technical and full of sweeping curves that seem perfectly designed for motorcycles. The road has had its share of safety changes over the years, but it still remains one of those rides every motorcyclist should experience at least once. On a good day, you'll see bikes everywhere. Sports bikes, adventure bikes, tourers, classic machines, all drawn to that same stretch of road. Then there's the stunning scenery of the Lake District. This place is a motorcycling heaven. Rolling hills, winding roads, and lakes reflecting the sky like giant mirrors. Routes weaving through places like Keswick, Ambleside, Windermere, and of course the legendary Hardknott Pass. You can spend days exploring the roads here and still feel like you've only scratched the surface. And when the sun is shining and the roads are dry, riding through the Lake District is genuinely magical. My destination is the Yorkshire Dales. Compared to the busier tourist hotspots, the Dales often feel quieter and more remote, makes them perfect for motorcycling. Narrow country lanes twist through stone villages and open countryside, with sheep grazing right beside the road, and views stretching out across the hills. Some of the best rides are the ones where you don't even know the roads' names. You just follow the curves and see where they take you. And then there's the ultimate pilgrimage for many riders, the legendary Isle of Man, home to the world famous Isle of Man TT course. Riding the TT mountain course yourself is something every biker dreams about, following the same roads where racing legends have pushed their machines to the absolute limit. Remember though, that there are speed restrictions when the TT isn't on. From the villages and stone walls in the lower sections to the wide open blasts across the mountains, it's a place that feels completely unique in the world of motorcycling. But here's the truth. Some of the best rides of the season aren't the big famous ones. They're the random days, the spontaneous rides. The mornings when the weather forecast suddenly looks perfect and you just decide to head out with no real plan. You grab your helmet, throw on your jacket, fire up the bike and just ride. Maybe you discover a road that you've never been on before. Maybe you stop at a tiny countryside cafe full of other bikers. Maybe you end up riding until sunset without even realising how far you've gone. Those are the rides that stay with you. Every rider knows the feeling. You're out on a quiet road. The engine is humming beneath you. The corners are flowing perfectly. And for a moment, nothing else in the world matters. No emails, no deadlines, no stress. Just the road ahead. That's what the new season is really about. Not just ticking off famous routes, but chasing that feeling again. So here we are. Another season on the horizon. The bikes are waking up from winter. The gear is ready. And the roads of the UK are waiting. From the mountains of Scotland to the winding lanes of Yorkshire and the mountain roads of Wales. From legendary passes to hidden country roads. If the weather plays its part, 2026 could be an incredible year for riding. More miles, more adventures, more stories to tell. So wherever you're riding this season, ride safe, take your time, enjoy the roads because there is no rush to get there. Just ride and enjoy what the green and pleasant land serves up. And never take a single sunny riding day for granted, because in the UK, those perfect days are rare. But when they happen, there's nothing better in the world than being on two wheels. Here's to an epic 2026 motorcycling season. Keep the shiny side up and the rubber on the road, and hopefully I'll see you out there. Enjoy the rest of the ride.